By the way, I have to do a shout out for Larry. We like working with Larry because he's a sane realtor.
Yep.
Thank you, Kathy. That goes both ways.
Okay, well, it is, I believe, 9 o'clock. Do you guys have 9 o'clock?
Yes.
Yes,
All right.
ma'am.
So we're going to start. Chidi, I think you can go ahead and share your screen if you'd like. And we should be good to go, and you can go ahead and start. You will hear people in and out, most likely. Let's see.
Can everyone see that?
Yes, I can see it.
All right, perfect.
I think Chidi must work out, right?
Maybe a little bit, and maybe it was mostly Photoshop though. I kind of pumped up the arms a little bit and edited.
Well, who can blame you for that?
All right, cool. Let me know when we're good to go.
You're good to go.
Awesome. So thank you guys for being here today. My name is Chidi Iwoha Jr., like Chidi Chidi Bang Bang. I always like to tell people, but I'm the founder of Move Media and Agent Film School, which I'll talk a little bit more about. So just to start off real quick, I want to show you guys kind of example of kind of just the potential of video with smartphones. So before we get into it. All right, so that was just a quick example. I just think it's so crazy how smartphone technology has just improved so much so recently that to get footage like that a few years back, you would have had to spend thousands of dollars on all this crazy equipment and learn how to use it. But now we got the power to make awesome videos like those just in our phones. So I'm going to talk a little bit more, and I had to shout out Jocelyn Blanchard for a lot of that footage. A lot of that footage was some of her listings. So shout out to Jocelyn.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so real quick, over the next 30 minutes or so, we're going to talk about 3 secrets to pro video, all with your smartphone, all with your device in your pocket. So let's dive into it. And real quick, I need your guys' attention. We're going to move quickly through this stuff. I jam-packed a lot of information in the next presentation, so it's just a good time to kind of lock in, get your focus, and take some notes if you need to, because we're going to cover a bunch of good stuff today. And also, towards the end of the thing, I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about how you can get access to recently created a free private Facebook group where I share tips and tricks on how to use video to grow your business, and also post this really awesome show we just started called the Agent Film School Show, where basically we talk to top producing agents to share their tips and tricks on success. And it's just a really awesome show, and we post the full episodes inside there. So it's really good stuff. We talked to a top producing agent in Arkansas last week, named Chase Rackley, really cool dude, and just dropped a lot of knowledge. So I'm really excited about that. Awesome. So if you guys are still wondering who's this guy that I'm listening to with some lighting setup and what makes me qualified to kind of teach about video. So the answer right off the bat would be the fact that I've just done it for so long. Probably up to this point, we've created over 500 videos, everything from YouTube content to real estate videos to what you're seeing on screen right now, which is actually filming a commercial for a pro hockey team in an apartment community down in Utah, which was a really awesome project. Just had a lot of fun with that one. So yeah, just experience, and I've learned all that and condensed that. Now I realized after kind of getting kind of good at video that I really enjoy just teaching other people how to use video to grow their businesses. So that's kind of why I'm here today. Awesome. So real quick, I want you to imagine imagine a life without any cold calling, without having to waste time with buyers and sellers that really are just kind of asking a bunch of questions and kind of just stringing things out and not really serious. I think this is the biggest pain point that I hear from a lot of real estate professionals, that it seems like a lot of time is wasted. And nowadays, especially with like COVID-19, we saw when people didn't want to go and show houses, they didn't want to go show up to open houses. We weren't even allowed to. You guys weren't even allowed to do open houses. Video became so critical so quickly. So I really believe, that's why I believe in the power of video. It just has the power to kind of replace you, the power to work when you're not working. If you record a video, it can live on the internet forever and drive business for you and all this good stuff. So that's why I'm just pumped up about video and like to share and teach other people. So real quick, who's excited? I need to see a couple hands before we dive into it. Awesome. I appreciate it. It's funny, I did one of these live trainings a couple weeks back, and it's weird compared to in person where you can see people's reactions and stuff, but when I'm sharing my screen, it feels like I'm just talking to myself. So I like to try to get some hands raised just to show me I'm not being crazy here. Cool. So secret number one is going to be cut to the chase. And so it sounds simple, but it's just one of the biggest mistakes probably I see in a lot of real estate videos and just in videos in general from professionals online. The default is that we like to get on camera, and then the first 1 to 2 minutes is going to be an introduction talking all about us. And that's exactly what you don't want to do, because nowadays on the internet, people's attention spans are so small. You need to cut to the chase, get to the content, and then after that, after you deliver content to them, then you can go ahead and talk about yourself and how they can work with you. So let me show you guys a quick example of that. Hey, what's going on, guys? Real quick, here's a couple of quick tips for better smartphone videos. All right, so real quick, just to analyze it. So the first 7 seconds, I already told you guys exactly what the video is about. And now I'm going to jump into the content. So I just want to show you guys exactly how important that first hook is in your videos. The first 5-10 seconds, you need to talk about exactly why they should watch the rest of the video. If you skip this step, a lot of videos just aren't going to get watched, and then they miss out on the opportunity to kind of build that trust, to get the value and build that relationship with you online, which is the main point of video in the first place. All right, so the first one, real quick, if you're doing a longer video, you probably don't want to be holding it up the whole time. So go ahead and find yourself a little tripod like this, and you can fit your phone into here, position it, and then you can just stand and focus on the actual content. Make sure it's straight and level like that, and then you can just riff away. The second one is that we want to be facing windows when we're recording videos. A lot of people will record videos kind of like this, and see how it got all dark and muddy. This is not what you want for your videos. So if you flip it all the way around like this, now we got this nice, even, soft lighting on my face. And then the third one we're going to get into, I'll break this down more in the presentation. Third quick tip, and it got slack just because I was making sure it's level. But once you make sure it's level, you want to be talking into the actual camera on the front side of the phone, because otherwise you're going to be kind of staring off. The screen is not fully connecting as it is right here. It's like I'm directly talking to you. Another quick tip too is to smile, have some energy. A lot of people get on camera, they'll get on camera like, hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Chidi. I'm a real estate agent. Today we want to talk about, no one wants to watch that, okay? You want to be excited. You have value to offer to your viewers, to your potential customers. Be excited about it. Yo, what's going on, guys? My name is Chidi Jr. Today I'm going to be telling you the 5 tips for selling your home in today's current market. How about that? So that, and the next one is just into how to organize and plan your content. We'll dive back into the presentation and take it from there. Awesome. So was that helpful?
Yes.
Awesome. So just breaking that down. So if you look at even the power of using that video in this presentation, I didn't have to teach that. I just sat back and watched it, right? I made this video once, and then I've used it multiple times throughout presentation. So it's working for me. And I can post this online, and now it's working online for me. So that's just a perfect example. But to break this video down just a little bit more, let's take a look at the structure of it. So this is a little bit what I'm talking about. Do you see how small this hook section is? This is beginning section. Notice that this doesn't say intro. This isn't about you. It's about why someone should watch the rest of the video. Super important piece. The first 5-10 seconds should say, why should someone keep watching this video? After that, transition directly into the meat and potatoes of the actual video. Like, what is it about? What kind of value do you want to talk to them about? And then at the end, this short version again. So most of this video here is the stories, the information, it's the tips, the value. And then the end, now you've given them value. Now you've given them a bit of trust. They trust you more. And now you can make an offer. And that offer is similar to like a call to action. And so, for example, if I just made a video about 5 tips to sell your home in today's market, the offer at the end would either be to visit my website or to message me. I would prefer doing something like message me if you have any other questions, because it's not as pitchy, you know, it's going to be more of a relationship building thing. If at the end of your videos, you're like, hey, you know, I hope this was helpful for you guys. If you have any other questions, feel free to message me and I'd love to answer them. Thanks. You know, see how that's more conversational. It's just more trust building rather than just being straight to the point and salesy. You want to focus on creating relationships and being authentic in your videos, creating trust. So that's going to nurture those leads that are eventually going to turn into people that want you to sell their home or help you buy their next home. All right, so I think that's that for that section. Awesome. So secret number 2, I'll try not to get too nerdy about this stuff, but use Pro Tools. And by Pro Tools, like I was saying, technology has come so far. But let me show you the first one real quick. Pro Tools sounds scary, but it's really not in this context. I just liked it because it sounds cool. But something like this is what I would consider a pro tool. So I think one of the biggest mistakes, again, I see in a lot of videos that real estate professionals make is that they're just handheld walking through a property, and they're just going like this, holding it like this, and just whipping the camera around, showing the stuff, and super long. And the problem with that is that it's not as engaging, and it's harder to see the home for what it is. And so one way, I have 2 ways to combat that. Very quick and easy. The one is the stabilizer. So this is called a gimbal or phone stabilizer, and I can't tell you how valuable this is. Ever since I started my video production business, this was one of the first pieces of equipment I bought, and I used it almost every single shoot. And now they make these super inexpensive ones for phones, which are super awesome. So let me see if I set this up right. Perfect. So I was like that, and then now it's sideways. So this is how you want to be making any kind of video that's property tour based, or if you're walking around a neighborhood or whatever, you want to have it on some kind of stabilization, because as you can see, when it's all crazy, it's keeping this phone nice, stabilized in the center. And that's going to help people really actually get a view of the property rather than getting all distracted by the shakiness and stuff like that. And so the next piece of equipment is just going to be a wide angle lens. And so this is probably the biggest game changer in terms of anything real estate video related, again, because what this does is allow people to get a better, more realistic picture of the property. And so anything, if you film your video just like this, here, let me show you guys a real good example of this actually. All right, so if you look on the left here, this picture that says 28 millimeter, this is the standard lens of what your camera sees. When you just take it out, you take your phone up, snap a picture, snap a video. This is how narrow it looks. Can you see the difference between, on the left here, it's all narrow and uptight, but on the right with the wide angle lens, it's so much more open, inviting. You can see the space for how it actually feels in person, because here on the left, it looks so narrow and uptight. It's not how it feels in person. So using a wide angle lens is gonna help you give that pro look for really inexpensive cost. A couple ways to do that. One, so I have the iPhone 11. I'm a camera nerd, so I like to upgrade to the newest phone. So this one actually has a wide angle lens built in, which is super awesome because you don't need something like this. But if you don't have a wide angle lens built in your phone, you're not out of luck. You can get something like this, which was only 30 bucks on Amazon. 30 bucks to get pro footage out of your phone is a no-brainer. And basically this attachment just kind of pops on here. It's a little finicky, you have to play with it. But for 30 bucks, they make other ones that are more expensive that actually come with a case. But for 30 bucks, this was an inexpensive option that works really well. And again, it screws right here, and now you can put this on the gimbal, and now you have a powerhouse. Literally, you can film professional quality footage like you saw at that intro with just this setup right here alone. Let me see if we have a question popped up. Let me see. Okay, so yeah, the question said can't see you, so I'm not sure why. Can everyone else see me still?
I can.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure. You change your Zoom setup. Yeah, maybe they just have it on the wrong setup, but just for time's sake, maybe you can watch the recording if you misses a couple of stuff. All right. All right, so the third step, this might be anticlimactic, but I can't stress how important practice is. I remember when I first started making videos, like the very first couple of YouTube videos I made, um, I got all excited. I set up my big fancy camera, set my phone up, press record, and then I sat there and riffed for probably 30 or 40 minutes straight in just one take, super long video. Didn't think it out at all, didn't have a process. And then I had a 40-minute long clip that I didn't know what to do with. I didn't know how to edit that down all the way to like 5 minutes or 2 minutes, something that someone would actually watch. And that was frustrating. And that was really unfortunate because then I had to restart, and now I'm taking 3 hours to make a 5-minute video, and it's just crazy. And so practice and going about it the right way is going to help build some of that foundation for you. That's going to apply to all types of video. And this is going to carry into all different ways. So let's look at how we can start getting comfortable on camera and start practicing video in small ways that are super easy, but will pay off in the long term if you practice them. All right, so let me minimize this. All right, so the first week one, so I guess this could be today for you. Hopefully you want to take action today, but start with Instagram or Facebook stories. If you don't know what a Facebook or Instagram story is, let me pull it up right here. But basically on Facebook, it's a feature. If you go into Messenger, you go to the top and click your story. You can watch other people's story, but you click the plus button, then it opens up the screen where hopefully you guys can see that, where it's basically a little button, record button in the center that you can press. And basically a story is just a 24-hour long video that kind of lives on your social media account for 24 hours, which is a really cool part, because if you mess up, it's only around for 24 hours. And if you don't like it, you can just delete it and redo it because it's so quick. They're all under a minute or 30 seconds, something like that. So literally this is the perfect way to get comfortable on camera and start practicing, the skill of getting on video, because being on video isn't necessarily easy or natural at first unless you're just kind of a rock star professional actor. But for me, even sometimes I still get nervous on camera. So just getting in the habit of doing small little video clips like with stories is a perfect way to get comfortable, to get warmed up and build that foundation of just being okay and comfortable and happy and authentic on camera, which will pay off in so many ways down the road. So with these Instagram and Facebook stories, I want you to do my challenge to you, what I think you should start if you're just starting at ground zero and want to start making videos in an easy way. Open up this story app and just make some kind of helpful tip. You can share something you've done today. If you're at an open house, just, hey, check out this new listing, at the address. It's really cool. And then post it. And the thing is, it's really small. You're not going to just explode your business over this one task. But the thing is, it's going to get over that hump of making a video and being nervous about posting online. And if you keep doing this consistently with helpful tips and tricks and just documenting what you're doing in your real estate business, it's going to pay off long term. So week one, or task number one, if you're just starting ground zero, start with the Instagram and Facebook stories. Super easy way to get your feet wet and start get that momentum going. All right, so number two, after that, after you've done a couple Instagram or Facebook stories and feeling a little comfortable there, we want to go live. Instagram and Facebook Live are all really underutilized features because a lot of people don't want to do them, which creates opportunity for you guys. If you guys want to put yourself out there and try to deliver value and build an audience, the opportunity is there, because the platforms will reward people who go live, because people like live videos because they're authentic. There's no way to edit or change it up. It's just you. And so, which is also nerve-wracking at the same time, but it pays off, and it's a great way to get started. And a great way to build your confidence on camera. So after doing a couple Instagram stories, you're getting your feet wet. The next week, I want you to go ahead and do a live video. This live video could be topic related. What I would suggest personally is just picking a topic, something like, for instance, a thing that I think would be a great idea right now would be around the question of, should I sell my home right now during, COVID-19 going on? I would imagine a lot of buyers have that question right now. So if you're going to go live and that's going to be your topic, and you're just going to give a couple pros and cons maybe of selling your home right now on the market and giving some information, that's going to build value with your audience, and that's going to get them to trust you. It's going to show you as an expert, so that when they're looking to make that decision to sell their home, they're going to think of you. So that's just one example, but you can pick any topic really, just maybe even just talk about your story if you wanted to. Just get on camera and say, hey, I got in real estate 5 years ago, and this is why. And just, be you, try to be authentic, and just get it done. Because at the end of the day, the first series of videos aren't going to be your best. They're not going to look super professional, but the thing is, you're getting that ball rolling. If you stick with this, you're going to get the benefits and power of video down the road. All right, and then the third piece of this, you could say week 3 or step number 3, phase 3. So first you got the Instagram stories, you got your feet wet, you're feeling a little comfortable, excited. Maybe someone replied to your story and was like, hey, that was super helpful. And you're like, nice. All right, and then you went live the next week and you got a couple comments like, thanks for the tips and tricks. You're like, sweet, this is cool. This video thing actually works. Chidi, that guy Chidi was right. He wasn't just messing with us. And then week number 3, go ahead and record a video. So the thing, these different steps and phases. So the Instagram and Facebook stories only last 24 hours. So those don't get saved. The lives last a little bit, but tend to get buried under other stuff in the news feed. The recorded videos, though, are stuff you can post on your page, on YouTube, on your website, and live on long term. So that's why you want to be creating kind of all 3 of these types of content. But the first 2 require no editing and also are super easy to do. That's why you want to start with those. But again, the recorded video content is going to be the long-term game, because if you have a series of videos people can watch that are super valuable and answer questions your prospects have, they're going to be working for you around the clock. It could be a video that's like 5 tips to help sell your home. That's a video that we recently produced. That video can live on forever. Like, you can be asleep and some person's watching your video about 5 tips to sell your home, and when they wake up in the morning, guess who they're going to call to like get that process started. And so these videos can start to work for you while you're sleeping, while you're on vacation, while you're doing other things, making other calls. And again, that's kind of why the importance to move into this era of video, especially I think COVID-19 was kind of a reminder for a lot of us that, okay, times are changing and maybe we won't go fully back into this interpersonal world where we're meeting up as much. We might be solely going to more Zoom meetings and more video online. So that's why it's super important to start getting into this kind of new era of video. All right, just before we starting to wrap up and go into question and answer, check out this picture. I love this picture so much. You guys can't see, this is me. I'm right here in the back. For me, I got another slide. Let's see. Yeah, that's me looking like a tough guy back there. But basically what this is basically these 2 guys that you saw right here are my mentors. So when I first started my video production business over 3 years ago, I joined a Facebook group, funny enough, just a free Facebook group. And I met these 2 guys. This guy on the left name is Marcus and the guy on the right name is Nick. But the impact they had on my life and my business early on, especially with video, because they were ahead of me and they were kind enough to offer value and share knowledge and help bring me up to closer to where they're at and become an expert myself. But the value is that anytime I had a question, I just pinged them and they would answer the questions for me. Anytime I made a video, I'd shoot it off to them and they'd give me feedback and be like, hey, tweak this could be better here, do this next time. And I can't tell you enough how important, how vital, how much this helped me just grow and like be more successful with video early on. And so I say that because I've created this Facebook group and this community that I want to try to give, my knowledge now back down. And so that's kind of a little bit about me, about why I came up to this point and why I'm like doing trainings like this to help share the knowledge I've learned over the past few years. So again, remember that. It's a funny picture. Awesome. So real quick, so I mentioned the Facebook group and I just talked about it there. Again, I'm super excited about the podcast and show we're going to be pumping out in that group. But just to get access, all you got to do is go to this training and I can copy and paste the link or send it to Gina, whatever. But I just basically want some feedback from you guys about the stuff I just talked about.
Morning, Jack White, Real Estate. This is Cindy. How can I help you?
Uh-oh, sorry.
Oh, someone's calling some leads. There we go. Send them a video. But yeah, I just want some feedback from you guys. It'd be awesome here. What you guys thought about the presentation? What you guys want to learn about that I didn't cover, so I could cover it next time, or maybe come back and do another one. But again, I will copy and paste this, or Gina will send it out. We'll figure that out. And then let's see what we got next. And then also, we do have some online trainings that are actually like full recorded modules and stuff like that that walk you through step by step how to shoot and edit these videos. And if you're interested in those, just go ahead to agentfilmschool.com/freebies, and you'll get a free download template for some valuable information. And then also we'll get the offer. And then if you want the discount code and want to purchase today, you can use the code Jack White and get 30% off that. But yeah, that training's been awesome. And we recently got an awesome testimonial where a guy during COVID-19 just 2 weeks ago was using video to do house tours and ended up selling a home. And it was just really awesome to hear that, like, during this tough time, he was able to use video to kind of keep things going and grow his business. Again, agentfilmschool.com/freebies to get that. And yeah, I'll go ahead and open up for Q&A at this point. So I'm not sure how we want to facilitate that, but thank you guys for your time, and I'll be happy to answer any questions now.
I think if anyone has a question, just unmute yourself and ask Chidi.
Oops.
There are some questions in the chat.
Okay, I'll go ahead and.
I think most of them were answered.
Can you repair a good basic mic setup for capturing better? Yeah, so what I'd recommend for a mic, I'll go ahead and go to Amazon, type in smartphone lapel mic, and basically be a little pin mic. It's the type of see you on interviews, and it's something that's gonna kind of clip to right here, and you can string it down. And then the end, you want to make sure the end fits your phone. So depending on what kind of plugin you have right here, if you have an iPhone, look up iPhone lapel mic. If you have Android lapel mic. That's going to be a great way to get really good audio just straight into your phone. As for video editing apps, so if you're super new to editing, highly recommend jumping into just iMovie. iMovie comes standard on iOS apps. I'm not sure exactly what the standard app for Android is, but iMovie will get you the basics of editing going super simply. But if you're looking for something more advanced, I like to use LumaFusion. It's like a $30 app, one-time purchase, but it's super worth it, and you got a lot of awesome features with it on LumaFusion. But again, it is way more complicated. When you first look at the screen, you might be a little bit confused, but if you give it some time, you'll get comfortable with it. Let's see, what do we got? Where can I purchase the wide angle lens stabilizer? Let's see, what's the best way to do this? Maybe I can either send a follow-up email with like direct links if that would be helpful. But yeah, there's a few. I would recommend the ones I personally use. If you want to just write it down right now, this one is called the DJI Osmo 3, and this actually just went on sale. It's less than $100 now, which is crazy. So Osmo 3 is the gimbal I'd recommend, and this wide angle lens, I could recommend the specific one, but if you want one on the cheaper end, just look up smartphone wide angle lens on Amazon, and you'll be able to read reviews and find just look at the reviews, trust the reviews. Amazon reviews are pretty good. But if you want a higher end lens, look up Moment lens for iPhone. Those are about $100, but it's going to be the best quality. So yeah, hopefully that answers that question. Then I had a couple of questions. Yeah, please send a follow-up email with direct links. Definitely can do that. There's a few email questions I wanted to be sure to cover that someone sent in before. So someone said how to take a picture representing a small room with a door jamb and adjacent wall interfering with the overall room angle. So that's kind of tough to have me actually imagine what that means. But I think a solution to that, regardless of kind of the layout of the home, is always going to be shoot any photos, any videos, content with a wide angle lens, because it's going to make the space look so much bigger. So that might be the answer to that question. And then what type of camera? Again, I just suggest using your phone. There's no need to really complicate things. If you have kind of a newer smartphone, it's going to do the job. This thing right here is a powerhouse in terms of content. You can do so much on it. Again, that's why I'm like passionate about smartphone video. Even though I am like a professional videographer, I have a bunch of crazy gear. I tend to actually like using my smartphone more sometimes just because it's easy. Let's see, lighting, best time of day for photos, any accessories to make for better photos. So the accessories part, definitely these two things, like gotta have, must have. accessories, and they're pretty inexpensive for what you're getting and the value you're getting out of them. And then best time of day, it's kind of a tricky question in Alaska as the daylight and stuff changes so much. But the only thing I would say to watch out for is don't ever take pictures or photos during nighttime, because you're not going to get all the natural light coming into the house. Aside from that, you tend to want to shoot towards like sun rising up a little bit, a few hours after sunrise and a few hours after sun setting. If you film in the middle of the day when the sun's like directly overhead the property, the sun's like the strongest, and sometimes it's too bright in the room, kind of overpowers the lighting inside. So that's kind of a tip. Hopefully that helps. And then how to do a video walkthrough for open house if you only have a cell phone. Should it be held upright? So if we're assuming that you don't have any of these accessories, which I would like, if you're doing any video walkthroughs, anything like that, you gotta have these two things. Like, it's just gonna make the world of a difference. Like, I can't say it enough. It's so easy to just slap these things on, and now you got like awesome video. So that being said, but let's say that you are in a tough pinch and you only have this thing right here. One thing I would recommend with video walkthroughs, you're gonna wanna hold it this way, not this way, because your eyeballs see horizontally. They don't see like vertically. We're not like walking through like this. So you're gonna wanna hold it like this. You're gonna get a better view of the whole space. And then hold it real steady. Don't kind of just like walk around like all crazily whipping the camera. I'd say go nice and slow and hold it real firmly and kind of use your body to stabilize the footage, and that will do a decent job, at least compared to like what most people do. So that's it for that. But again, I can't stress enough, if you are going to be doing any video walkthroughs for clients, like, you owe your clients a favor of getting a couple accessories like this, just so you can deliver a better quality, provide more value to their home. Because at the end of the day, they're trusting you to sell their home, so it's worth investing in a couple little pieces of gear like this. Let's see, are there any filters you can buy? Any filters? I'm not sure any filters you can buy for Android cell phones. So I'm not sure exactly what that meant by filters, but if by filters you mean something like this, then yes, you can buy these. This will fit universally on Android or smartphone or iPhone. So hope that answers that question. If there's any other questions, I think we're needing to wrap it up here, but feel free to ask any last ones. But hopefully that helped a lot, and I can send a follow-up email right after this ends.
I just have a shout out to Chidi. I've been working with Chidi for a couple years now, or with Chidi for a couple years now. And I just want to let y'all know, like, his tips and tricks really do help. I was very, very nervous shooting my first couple videos. I couldn't even tell you how hard it was in the get-go, and just doing what he said with the tricks, like going and doing live and doing stories and stuff like that. I definitely feel a lot more comfortable just in front of the camera, and it definitely shows from my original footage than to my ending footage. And I wish I would have started doing those little tips early on to help me feel more relaxed before shooting. So that's just like a shout out for that. And my stabilizer, the DJ one, has been a game changer. So Yulia just said, I kept asking Jocelyn, who does your marketing, because I really like it, and I want to be able to do the same. So it's definitely, I'm sure some of you have seen our footages from our listings and stuff like that. And he did shoot some of those footages on his iPhone for like my John's Road project and stuff like that. So if you think about going back and looking at that content and thinking that it was just done with an iPhone, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, 100%. Thank you so much for that, Jocelyn. It's been a pleasure working the past couple of years. Awesome projects. But yeah, I really appreciate that. So yeah, again, kind of leave you with one thing. You guys have to kind of start getting the ball rolling with using video, like in the little small ways. You don't have to jump and start doing all these crazy YouTube videos. It's real easy to want to like do everything all at once, but really you just need to start small. Start with the stories, start with going live a couple times here and there, and you're going to start getting more comfortable and want to do it more often, which is going to enable you to make better videos and provide more value. So hopefully I can leave you guys with that. Again, if you guys want to stay in touch, join the Facebook group. That's where I'm active live. You can ping me with any questions. I'm posting tips and tricks, and also our Agent Film School show, which has been a really awesome project. So thanks again for today, and I guess we'll leave it at that.
Chidi, thank you so much for giving us this time. We really, really appreciate it. Great, great tips, and I'm sure everyone will definitely, take advantage and all of that. So again, thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you for the opportunity, guys. Have a good one.
You bet. Okay, guys, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and we'll get the office meeting started. So first off, can everyone see my screen? Yes? Okay.
Yes.
All right, perfect. So we're going to start out with a little fun, because what is today? Cinco de Mayo. It's going to be my sombrero, but I couldn't find it. So let's give something to taco about. So that's from Yulia, so you can thank her later. So happy Cinco de Mayo, everyone. Also, we're going to talk about Thursday. We have risk management via Zoom as well. And then on Wednesday, kind of a little bit out of order, but Wednesday, we're doing the accountability and goal setting for the KV Core 4-week agent success plan. And so that's going to be, we did an intro last week, and we're doing goal setting this week. And then on Friday, we'll start week 1. So if you want to learn more about KV Core, how to use KV Core in your business, we're doing a 4-week training on that. And it's going to be from 1 to 2 every Friday for the next 4 weeks. And then we're going to do accountability and goal setting and talk about how we're using the information, and then also one-on-one tutorial or group tutorial if you have questions about something that you learned and you need me to help you, walk through it with you. We're going to do that on the Wednesday after. So the class will be Friday, and then that Wednesday, if you need help on what you've tried to work on from Friday till Wednesday, then I'll help you with that. And then we'll do the next class again on Friday for lesson 2, and then keep going that way. So I encourage you to join that meeting. I think it'll be very helpful. If you can't be there this week, but you can be there, the next 3 weeks, then you can take it on your own as well in KV Core. So just get in touch with me and I'll help you with that. But I think it's really helpful for everyone to join in that, whoever wants to, get engaged with KV Core. Next, today's Jonathan Harvey's birthday. So if you see John, tell him happy birthday. And then we have anniversaries today. Kathy Johnson, 30 years. Woohoo! Way to go.
Woo!
And Janet Gillard right behind her at 24. Way to go, Janet. And we have Belinda Davis at 22, Jamie Harvey at 16, Mike McLean at 15, Willie Brown at 13, Vince at 8, Teresa Block at 7, John Wilson at 6, and Terry Ellis at 6. So thank you guys all for being here with us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good to see that. And then we have a few new listings I want to kind of go through. So I don't know, Janet, do you want to tell us a little bit about Vanguard?
Stop video.
Okay, I unmuted you, so go ahead and talk, Janet.
Thank you. It's a newly painted on the inside as well as on the outside. They just finished the building earlier this week. And the top right deck is the condo that I'm selling, the top floor. It's got a Jack White sign in it now, but it was being painted when I went through, so it doesn't have it. That's the kitchen you're looking at. If anything, it needs new flooring, but the owner is leaving that up to the buyer to decide what to do at the moment. Everything has been cleaned up. It looks really great. And I guess I need some tips on videoing that too.
Yeah, you just got them.
And it looks out on trees rather than, it doesn't have a spectacular view, but it has some nice trees.
Okay.
And a wooded area that it looks out on. Thank you.
Thank you, Janet. Sherry, is Sherry on? I'm not sure if I saw Sherry. Let's see. Sherry. I don't think she's here, so we'll just go through this one real quick.
It's a beautiful property on a great street, Arlene, in a really nice neighborhood. So go look at it.
Yeah, it looks like a really well maintained. Looks like they've definitely got it ready to go. It looks staged. Very, very nice. Big deck. Great. And then Jocelyn, I know she's on. You want to tell us about Cape Seville?
Yep, sorry about that. I had to unmute myself.
Sure.
So Golden View, 4-bedroom, 2.75 bath, 3-car garage, 2,400 square feet. That backyard that you're looking at in the picture is huge. It's on a 12,000 square foot lot in Golden View, fully fenced backyard, and then it actually backs to like a little alleyway, so there's no neighbors directly behind you. And the way that it's angled, you really can't see your neighbors when you're in the backyard at all. It's got open concept, vaulted ceilings, heated floors in the kitchen, heated floors in the master bathroom. They really have spared no expense in any updates they have done on the property. It is the original owners. They've lived there for over 20 years. So they've gone through and done updating like granite countertops and the backsplash, but anything that they have done, they do it to the best. So those are engineered hardwood floors in that photo right there. That's a gas fireplace in the background. But it's got 2 bedrooms up with the master ensuite, and then 2 bedrooms down with another family room with the glass sliding doors that walk out. And then, like I said, a 3-car garage. So it really, and then of course it has the inlet views because it towers over. The driveway's a little steep, but it allows you to get up and get over all those other houses. So you have great inlet views, and then from the back you have mountain views. So it really has the best of both worlds.
Okay, great. Thank you. Bill, tell us about Copper Drive.
Well, I would love to. This is up in Stuckigan. It's over 4,000 square feet of living space. It's a farmhouse set up with a lot of character. Huge living room there with a stove. And if you look out the double French doors, that's there it is. That's a greenhouse sunroom. Outside, she keeps bees. And there is a paddock for, I don't know, a goat or whatever. They've upgraded the kitchen. It's a new stovetop. I just can't say enough. It's a 4-bedroom home with 2.5 baths. It could be 5, but the septic's only 4, and the septic was new 2 years ago. So, and it was on the market 2 years ago as well. It just needed a little more better marketing. Let's put it that way.
Great, good deal. Thanks, Bill. And then we have 1421 L Street. I don't think Jamie's here, so we'll go over this house a little bit. We'll see all the photos. Looks like it's got beautiful wood flooring. Looks like a real wood to me. Nice brick rock fireplace going on there. It's like rock or slate.
Gina, I pulled up the listing if you want me to talk about it. It's
Sure.
a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 2,328 square feet. It was built in 1958. Jamie says in his remarks, it's super cool and nicely updated South Edition home with an urban vibe. It has original hardwood floors, gorgeous fireplace with raised hearth, remodeled kitchen, nice west-facing deck, neat outdoor spaces, and a convenient alley access. Ideal city locale close to the coastal trail and lagoon. 1 block to neighborhood City Market and Inlet View School across the street. Separate kitchen, laundry, and entrance down for duplex potential.
All right. Thank you, Jocelyn. Okay, perfect. Well, I don't know if, I think Gabe's on here. Gabe, is there anything you want to talk about, or John Carmen, about mortgage or any other items? I thought John had joined in, but maybe he didn't.
Yeah, Gina, we do need to talk about the action plan. So do you want to take that off the screen? Not that anybody has to see me, that's for sure. But anyway, yeah, the action plan, we have modified the action plan for everybody's information on conducting our business, and we have now included open houses, occupied or on unoccupied houses. So both are covered in the action plan, and it's been submitted to the governor's office. And we got the canned auto email that says to practice under our submitted guidelines. What you need to know in reference to that, however, is that the items that I changed are the pre-qualification, the pre-approval or approved tenant application. Those items, what I did right after that is I put when feasible. So it opened it up a little bit to where if you had somebody call you at Friday, 5 o'clock, they want to go see a house and they're not pre-qualified, don't have a pre-approval letter, and you still want to show that property, you can now show that property without getting that pre-approval or pre-qualification letter, because it says when feasible. Now, certainly we want to show properties to people that are qualified, but on the one-off, it happens often. On a weekend or at night, you may get a call from somebody that you know they're qualified, and you just don't have a pre-qual letter. And so this opens it up, makes it a little less stringent, and allows you to still show the property, keeping obviously those other guidelines in mind, that you have to have the health questionnaire filled out, the masks, etc. So that was one change, is to open it up a little bit for the pre-qual, pre-approval letter to be when feasible. And the other part are open houses. What you need to do with open houses, and Gina and I are going to be talking after this meeting to get some signs made up for you, that my suggestion would be that you have 2 licensees at an open house, one outside, one inside. But you could also do it with a sign on the door, having, it's cumbersome. We understand this, but we're trying to open up conducting business in the best way we can, with still maintaining those best practices and not getting in trouble with the governor, the mayor, etc. So any attendee that will come to the open house will need to fill out a health questionnaire, and only two adults that are planning on being on the purchase agreement as buyers will be allowed in the house with you as the licensee at any given time. So a total of 3 people, that'll be you and the 2 buyers, adult buyers, are the only ones that would be allowed in the home on an open house. And everyone has to wear gloves and mask, with the attendees filling out the health questionnaire. I know it's cumbersome, but we needed to start to get back to normal business. So it's going to take a bit to work through this. What will happen, and I guarantee it'll happen, someone will think that you shouldn't be doing open houses, and even if you have those protocols in place. So we want to do our best to make sure that we are following all of the guidelines by the governor, mayor, CDC, and we can then prove that we are conducting the open house in the most safe manner possible. So are there any questions in reference to that? Gina, did you want to add to that?
The only thing I want to add is if I think it should be, because all of your open, if you say you're doing an open house, you should definitely make sure it's in MLS ahead of time. and have instructions in the confidential remarks regarding them, so people understand, or actually I guess it would have to be in the public remarks, letting people know kind of what to expect during the open house.
And that's what's going to have to be in the ad as well. That's what you and I were going to talk about after this.
Okay.
Is in the ad we have to tell them what to expect when they show up to the open house.
Yep. And then I would say the other thing that's going to be a little bit difficult to manage is if you have, more than one party that shows up at a time, or they show up with a bunch of kids in their car and they want to bring them in and say, I can't leave my kid in the car. That all has to be managed. It can only be adults. You can't let them bring children in the house. The adults would have to take turns. If there were other cars, they would need to probably best to stay in their car until the other party is out and in their car and let the other people out. You still have to maintain that distance between people. That's why you have to almost have two people there. It is, I think, impossible to do it with one person at the open house.
Unless you have the door locked with a sign on the door, but it's still difficult. Yes, absolutely.
Because they're going to gather all together outside the door. You're going to have a hard time managing that.
Right.
And all you need is someone to drive up and they see all these people gathered outside all together and take a picture, send it to the governor. So you have to know that those things will probably happen if someone's upset about it. So you have to just make sure that you're doing it the right way and just think through the process before you get there. Know what you're going to do, how you're going to do it, and we're going to help you with that. We'll put together some protocol and that kind of thing, but just kind of we'll try to think through as much as we can of, what might happen so you can prepare for it and not be caught off guard. And then the one thing you don't want is you don't want to be having to argue with people who come to the front door and they did know the protocol, they don't want to adhere to the protocol. So that's why the signs will help, although we know people don't read them, but as much information as we can put out there to let people know ahead of time what to expect, the better. Because there will be people that'll drive up and they just think that it's just like normal. Okay, we're doing open houses now. I'm going to go just walk in. And so we just have to be careful of that. That's all.
Hey, Gina.
Yeah.
So an easy solution for this, I think that might work while we're transitioning to open houses, is that when you do the ads, go ahead and maybe an idea is by appointment only with open houses, because then we're going to be able to have that paperwork, even because it goes out on Zillow, it's going to go on Trulia, all that stuff. But you could say by appointment must fill out the information, and it goes through MLS. And I wouldn't necessarily put it through confidential all the time, because public remarks are going to go to Zillow and the confidential does not.
Right.
So my idea would be, say, open houses by appointment only. So then we get the information from these people that are making the appointments with us to be at that open house ahead of time. Just a thought.
Yeah, no, that's a good idea. And, having an appointment only with your cell phone number, then you can calendar those appointments.
Right.
You will end up having people show up just because of the signs. But, that could also be something that we do but I hate to limit it and not have signs out there, but that would definitely solve the problem, is by appointment only with no signs.
I think that's a violation of MLS. I don't believe that you're allowed to do that. You can't market a property that it's an open house unless it's actually going to be an open house. And furthermore, you're not allowed to put a phone number in those remarks, unfortunately.
Correct.
You're just talking about the open house advertising through MLS.
Yeah, like you can't put in there like even if you have someone hosting it, you can't put.
Well, that's interesting because Dwell does it every.
What? Sorry, but you can't, as far as I know, you're not allowed to put any kind of contact information in that remarks. Now, you could probably bypass that by going directly to Zillow and putting those remarks in Zillow, because you can edit those as an owner. Then you could change those, but you can't go through MLS and then do a by appointment only. Now, that being said, Zillow's having some issues with their open house tab right now. I know that because I've been trying to get that virtual open house posted through MLS to Zillow, and they're only showing for sale by owner open houses on Zillow's open house tab right now.
So one way you can, I think that, I mean, like I said, Gabe and I'll talk about this, but I think that one thing you can do is a lot of you guys put your signs out ahead of time that you're going to be doing an open house. And if you have information at the house, like an additional flyer, maybe you change the flyers on Friday. And then you put instructions on the flyer that open house will be Saturday from 1 to 4. This health questionnaire that's attached to the flyer needs to be filled out prior to, attending the open house. And then this is how the open house will be conducted. So that could be an idea of a way of marketing in a different way, letting people know, because most people, when they see the sign, they're going to follow the sign to the house, and that's where they'll take the flyer to find out how much the house is and all that. So I think that that could help as well.
Okay, well, that's all I had. So Gina and I'll get together and we'll talk about this a little bit more, but wanted to let everybody know that that was something that has now been opened up so that we can start to get back to normal business. So that's all I have, Gina.
Well, I'll be the first person to do it this weekend if someone wants to join me and do a dry run. I was already planning on doing a virtual open house and already started advertising for that for my Cape Seville listing. If anyone wanted to join me for that, I'd be happy to have a person as a guinea pig.
I'm gonna do one this weekend also, and if I wasn't, I would offer to do it with you. Sorry, I'm gonna do my own.
Okay, is Brittany gonna help you?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, great.
So it's gonna require everybody to have extra masks and gloves. Remember that. Now, that's also a little bit tricky. So I understand that it's difficult getting back into normal business when we have many restrictions, but we have to be very, very cautious and careful to not be the one that's called out for having done something that goes against the mandates. So.
And then they haven't said yet, I guess on Wednesday, they're supposed to do another press release kind of talking about opening more things up. So probably Thursday, risk management, if that does happen on Wednesday, we'll give you guys an update on that if we get information back on Wednesday. Because I know a lot of people are asking when we're going to open back up to the public. So maybe we'll have an update on Thursday for that. We'll see.
Sarah McSheehy just commented that Target has gloves and masks as of noon yesterday.
Oh, perfect. Good deal. Okay, excellent. Is there anything else anyone wants to talk about, bring up?
Have a great week, everyone.
Yep, thanks, Kathy. All right, perfect. Well, you guys take care, be safe, and thanks for joining, and we'll see you either on Wednesday or Thursday. All right, thanks.
All right,
bye, guys.
take care.